Hi, this is Jean Bedourde. Today I'm going to talk about searching the open web using the strategies you've learned from the professional search engines. First of all, professional search engines and web search engines are all aggregators. They provide access to information, but ownership of the actual content remains with the original publisher. Under the hood, the search technology is very similar, though the interfaces and ranking algorithms are quite different. The most obvious difference is the customer. Professional search engines make their money from fees paid by organizations who need access to certain types of information. They have the budget to pay for subscriptions. In contrast, web search engines are supported by the advertisers who buy ad placement on the top and side of search results. Reality is that advertising money is bigger than the subscription business. In 2014, advertising provided 90% of Google's $59 billion in revenue. So you can see that advertising drives many of the features, not the user. Another major difference is the source of the content. Professional search engines have vetted sources that are documented. Though there's some change over time, the content remains pretty constant. Even more importantly, you can duplicate search results. The web search engines add content by using web crawling software to discover new and modified web pages. Human beings are not part of the process. The number of sites is constantly changing, as well as the number of web pages on each site. New sites are added, old sites may be taken down. In addition, the retrieval algorithms are constantly changing, and of course, there's no documentation. Let's look at the similarities between these two types of search engines. To begin, they all provide an index for information retrieval. To find information, the user types in a search query. All of them have basic keyword searching. In addition, many search operators that you have learned in the professional search engines are also available for web searching. They just aren't obvious. You have to go find the advanced search page to learn about them. Secondly, choosing a database or website is just as important for web search as it is for professional search engines. On ProQuest Dialog, you could either search all databases or choose databases. On the web, you can choose to search subsets by either utilizing filters or by specifying a domain to search. The cite command can be one of your best friends for finding relevant information. Let's look more closely at URL selection. You are making choices about your search results whenever you specify a URL, whether it's a search engine or a content site. Each of these URLs has a different interface and indexes different content. Let's talk about search results. When you do a search, the first results that you retrieve are those websites which fit the search engine algorithms. These involve elements such as the title tag, content on the web page, and links from other websites, as well as over 200 other signals that impact relevance. This is the surface web, which is search engine friendly. But beyond those first few pages, there are thousands and thousands of results. There very well may be sites which are even more relevant to your results than the first few pages. But the crawlable site structure doesn't reflect their importance. Much of the content may not even be indexed by the search engines for various reasons. Databases in particular are problematic for search engine indexing. So how do you find deep web content? There are various ways to find it. One starting point is online subject directories and libguides, usually developed and maintained by universities and libraries. San Jose State University has a number of these oriented toward departmental subject matter. Another technique is to search by topic and add the keyword database. This should retrieve the HTML pages which describe the database, which you can then access by URL. Another technique is to limit by the top-level domain, such as education and government. It also works for government-specific sites. The last technique is to go directly to content-specific websites, such as Flickr. Some types of information are not readily accessible on the open web. Obviously, since customers are paying for premium content, subscription databases are behind an access wall and are not searchable using the web search engines. Social media is yet another type of content that is not part of web search indexes. Though free, these sites require joining as a member, and the content is members only. Professionally, LinkedIn is the most important social media site to join. It's heavily used by recruiters and an important part of your job search. You can use it to research job titles and discover hiring organizations. By the way, though LinkedIn is a membership site, you can choose to make parts of your profile available for indexing in the search engines. Just part of the complexity of a web presence. Now it's time to move on to using the strategies you've learned in the professional search engines and applying them to find information in the deep web. Let's go diving!